Hello to all of you out there listening in the non-space that is the internet. It is I, Ishi, the gray, the full gray, that's right. I've pulled off the human suit. I'm here in my 3'9" glory, sitting at my desk chair, my high chair actually, talking into the mic, and beside me is...
Kat Rocha, the night editor.
And tonight we come back to you finally after a long hiatus with a great big alien show.
Well, we have something of newsworthy to talk about.
Something of great importance, in fact.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, really, my question is how many times does disclosure need to happen before everyone says, oh yeah, aliens are real? I mean, we've had disclosure, how many times this year alone?
Are we counting?
At least twice, maybe 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really, why is this even news? I mean, I think the only reason it's news is this Galactic Federation stuff. And yes, we are discussing Jews in space, everybody. Now, we've got 12 people listening. I think now is a good time as ever to get down to business. What is this whole thing about Jews in space and a Galactic Federation, Kat?
Well, I have the article here. Now, where did this article come from?
Oh, this one came from CBS.
This was from CBS. Okay. Headline.
So you know it's true.
So you know it's true.
Just like Joe Biden won the election. CBS said so you know it's true.
Headline says, former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. A Galactic Federation, air quotes, has been waiting for humans to, again, air quotes, reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are.
Stop. I'm sorry. This is not cyberpunk source code, but how dare you, sir? How dare you?
Zav, what is the political philosophy of cyberpunk?
It isn't communist. If anyone says that, punch them. It's high-tech lowlife with an undercurrent of anti-authoritarianism and libertarianism.
How about just with an undercurrent of fuck you?
Yeah, with an is high-tech lowlife with an undercurrent of fuck you.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Okay.
The closest safe space is a safety pin. What?
In your ass.
In your ass.
Okay, let's...
This quote I was referencing was from Chaim Eshed, a former Israeli space security chief, has been sent. What? This is written weird. A former Israeli space security chief has sent eyebrows shooting. Oh, I see. Has sent eyebrow shootings heavenward by saying that Earthlings have been in contact with extraterrestrials from a, again, air quotes, Galactic Federation. Why? Okay, fine. You watch Star Trek. We all watch Star Trek. No big fucking deal.
Well, I've talked about the Federation before on the show. Remember?
Well, I know, but that's you. You've actually been influenced by it.
I've had to deal with it. Yes.
Yes.
And remember the whole thing where there was the scandal, and it turned out that there were all these people, all these various alien races going to Lemuria, and they had to go into the party island and doing certain untoward things with miners. And then at the last minute when the investigation happened, suddenly Lemuria sank with Atlantis. Hashtag Lemuria didn't sink itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've talked about this.
No, definitely. Well, I believe you. I find it a little convenient that this is coming out now. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will say, speaking as an alien, that it is quite interesting that since about 2009, I believe, the whole Q conspiracy crowd have been saying that shortly after the election, the press would they would disclose the existence of aliens to distract everyone from the shit they're trying to pull. No, I'm serious.
And
this is not humor. I am serious. The Q crowd said this.
And it's kind of convenient that this has been released. Now, I'm not saying that like America is the center of the world. I'm not. I know that other nations are going through their own struggles and strifes, but I do find it interesting that this is released about the same time that 17 states now in this country are going to the Supreme Court.
Actually, I believe it's approaching 20 now.
Okay, yeah, it's approaching 20 now. You know, I've gone to the Supreme Court, basically saying you can't allow Pennsylvania to change the rules, because if they change the rules,
actually, they're saying that 5 states can't change the rules.
Oh, 5 states can't change the rules. Then that affects the rest of us.
And what's kind of interesting is Georgia is one of the states that changed the rules, and Georgia's joining in the suit saying that we shouldn't have changed the rules.
I have newfound respect for Georgia.
Or at least part of them.
Or at least part of them. Quote, the unidentified flying objects have asked not to publish that they are here.
Okay. This is where I flat out say, this is why you know this guy's a fucktard. Our craft themselves, the unidentified flying objects, don't talk to the press. We do.
Well,
since when do you? I mean, other than Kit, have you ever fucking talked to a car?
No, but what about Max from Flight of the Navigator?
It's a movie.
Well, actually, I have talked to Kit. I have talked to Kit in person.
That's why I brought it up. I said the only car you've ever really talked to is Kit.
Mm-hmm.
And this was what, at Universal Studios?
Yes, but what about all those cars from Japan that had basic voice recognition software?
Well, great. Then the comment wouldn't have been that. The comment would have been, well, and the saucer said, please close the door.
Really, I think it'd be much funnier if they were talking to a spaceship that talked like Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
That humanity is not yet ready yet. See, that's the other thing. They show up in all these different places. You know, they send you and your people down to mutilate our, livestock. They kidnap other people, and that poor guy in Brazil had his dong irradiated.
But he said it was worth it.
It was worth it, so that's good. But still, dong irradiation does not sound like fun. No matter how fun it was when he got it.
Yeah, Villalobos said it was a hot woman and great sex. It's just his dong got irradiated and had blisters all over it afterwards.
But don't tell everybody, because you can't handle it. It's like, what? That's the lamest excuse in the world.
Look, we buzzed Phoenix, Arizona in 97. What do you mean don't tell anyone about it? We're trying to get your attention.
Exactly.
How many TV signals do we have to interrupt? How many people do we have to abduct? Oh, hey, wait a minute.
So whose fault is it that we no longer have Arecibo at the same time that this is released?
Government funding.
They
didn't fix the damn thing.
Well, no, Trump funded it.
No, the branch that was responsible for maintenance on the Arecibo telescope.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
Hayam Eshed, former head of Israel's Defense Ministry's space doctorate, said, a respected professor and retired general, Eshed said the aliens were equally curious about humanity and were seeking to understand, quote, the fabric of the universe.
We already understand the fabric of the universe. That's why we're able to fold space to travel here.
Exactly.
He's just making shit up, okay?
Well, of course. Well, it also doesn't make sense. Like, well, they're just as curious about us as we are about them, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going public.
And writing a book.
No,
the thing is there is some truth in what he's saying, and we'll get to that.
Well, there's always truth in a lie, but he's not Doty.
No.
He is not as good as Doty.
He's not Rick Doty, yes.
No. That man, God fucking damn.
Rick Doty is the famed Air Force intelligence agent who is probably the number one disinformation specialist who has caused more truth and lies to be spread than anybody about UFOs.
I am continually in awe at that man's ability to weave reality to be what he wants it to be. Ishid said corporation agreements had been signed between species. I'm sorry, no, cooperation. There we go. It's been a long day. I
know
apologize.
It has.
Including an underground base in the depths of Mars, where there are American astronauts and alien representatives.
Okay, finally something true.
It was kind of like, okay, that's true. So you say it's true, so I won't make fun of it. But, quite frankly, a lot of what he's saying is sounding like Mass Effect.
Remember what I said in a prior show, that humans have been on Mars since the pyramids, because we were so impressed with what Imhotep had done that we made him a little more immortal. We took him to Mars and said, hey, can you build us a bigger one? So humans have been there for a long time.
Oh, no, very true. Very, very true.
He's still up there.
I want to meet him. Quote, there is an agreement between the United States government and the aliens. They signed a contract with us to do experiments here, he said. Well, what about Brazil? Ishid added that President Donald Trump was aware of the extraterrestrials' existence and had been, quote, on the verge of revealing, unquote, the information. Why do you have to quote that part? But was asked not to in order to prevent mass hysteria. What, in the wake of fucking COVID? I think that actually would have brought hope to people if they're like, yes, you're sequestered in your houses. It sucks. But there are aliens and they're here and they're nice.
Well, the difference being, honey, is understand that unlike COVID, aliens are real.
COVID is real. I'm not saying the hysteria is.
It's not a plague.
It's not a plague.
No.
It's horrid if you're over the age of 65 or you have terrible, terrible health. It's
a bad case of the flu, and it'll kill you just like any other flu will if you're old.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. It's
As
true.
for Trump giving up the truth, you remember when he visited Roswell and he forced them to show him the information? Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Trump was going to tell us, and then,
Quote, they had been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. Again, anybody who's grown up with Star Wars knows what space and spaceships are.
You know that they did a survey, and most Gen Xers are like, and when it came to aliens.
Now, see, that's a more realistic reality, because, wasn't there somebody who talked about how Hollywood was being used to seed the idea of aliens to see how we would react?
Oh, that was actually a CIA program, and Robert Wise, director of Day the Earth Stood Still, was part of that program. And Day the Earth Stood Still was partially funded by the government.
So, yeah, so if you were to tell me that they were waiting for humanity to become comfortable enough with the idea of aliens that we wouldn't immediately freak out and think they were all face huggers, I would totally buy that.
We're already there, though.
I know we're there now. No, his thing, people,
okay,
understand what space and spaceships are. What the fuck, dude?
I would say anyone who's Gen X or younger is already there. We're ready. We don't care.
Yeah, so basically everybody in their 50s and below.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody over that is too old to grasp the concept of aliens, apparently.
The whole idea of people flipping out. Seriously, no, there have been studies done, and Gen Xers and younger, their attitude, well, aliens are real, right? Who cares?
And see, that makes sense to me.
Literally, I'm not making this up. That is legitimately the attitude.
That is actually part of childhood's end.
Oh, that we just don't care anymore?
Well, the spaceships from the aliens hung in the air for at least 2 generations for enough people to become so familiar and used to them that they didn't care. And then when they did finally come out of the spaceship, they hung out with us for quite a while until we didn't care.
Yeah, but you see, we don't look like Satan.
That is true. Greys do not look like Satan.
No. If anyone tried to pull that, it'd be the goddamn reptoids.
That is very true. No, instead, you guys have those big, beautiful eyes and that cute little mouth.
Yeah. And you see, reptoids actually can look like Satan, because a lot of people think some reptoids have like tails and horns. No. That's actually ornamentation. There's like crowns and capes and shit they wear
Mhm.
that look like, and people just assume they were attached to their body.
It is cold. Please wear a cape.
Yeah, it's essentially they're just kind of blinging themselves up.
Where is it? They have been waiting until today for humanity. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Ished's ideas are spelled out in more detail in The Universe Beyond the Horizon, Conversations with Professor Chaim Ished by Hagar Yana.
Who
Sorry.
cares?
Published in November. Gee, that's convenient. Ished, who oversaw the launch of numerous Israeli satellites into space, said he was only speaking out now because his book is out. No, that's me. He's only speaking out now because attitudes were changing and people seemed more receptive. Again, dude, we were already there. You know, is it that he's Israeli and it took them that long to be comfortable with the idea of space and spaceships?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Space and spaceships. I hope that that's a translation because that is so moronic.
I think we've been pretty comfortable with space and spaceships since the 60s.
I think we've been comfortable with space and spaceships since Galileo.
No, actually, it was controversial then.
Learned people. Anyway, if I had come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, if I had come up with that must be a translation error because that makes it sound like he's lying about all of this. Gee.
Hey, wait, I gotta.
NASA Joa, aliens are actually interdimensional demons and psychic vampires.
Not all of us. We're fine, and it's the reptilians mainly. And if you say, well, no, some of the Greys. Look, the Greys that are working for the reptilians are slaves, okay? They were enslaved. We want our people free just as much as everyone. They've got shock collars on them. It's not a pretty. Reptoids are dicks.
Sorry, I know your pain is real, but it's funny. Okay, where did I lost my spot? If I had come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized, he told Yedwat. Today, they're already talking differently. I have nothing to lose. I've received my degrees and awards. I am respected in universities abroad.
Ka-ching.
Yeah. Dude, you're just one step behind Michio Akaku on the grab whatever gravy train you can. So
yeah, screw my reputation. I'll just say crazy shit for money.
Yeah. In May, Trump said, quote, space is going to be the future, both in terms of defense and offense. We're now the leader of space. As he was presented with the official flag of a newly created military branch, Space Force.
That has nothing to do with us. That has nothing to do with aliens. That has everything to do with the goddamn Chinese.
I still like the idea that we've got a god rod, at least one position.
Oh, we've got
there.
multiple. No. Communist China is the reason we have a space war. That, and actually, I'll tell you the number one reason. This is totally factual. Do you know why so many people were against Space Force in the government?
Because they saw Gundam and they saw these giant robots coming from space?
No. It's because right now we have multiple branches of the government that each have their own version of the Space Force, and Trump wanted to consolidate them down into one branch under one leadership with one budget rather than paying for 5. So he was going to take the budget of 5 and say, okay, let's whittle that down to 1/5 and give that money back.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're against Space Force.
Because there goes their sweet, sweet gravy train.
Right, because the Navy, the Air Force, I believe the Army, the National Security Intelligence agencies, the CIA, all have their own space forces.
Yeah, just makes more sense to put it all together. Its focus, along with a space command, is on space as a military domain for the United States, preserving satellites and communications, and a focus of geopolitics in new terrain. Ashed's comments immediately spawned jokes and theories online. At least half a dozen accounts have been created on Twitter claiming to be representatives of Earth from the Galactic Federation. Other users have asked, I'm pretty certain many of them were already there. Other users have asked for a preferential treatment and meetings with the otherworldly group. Nick Pope, who used to investigate UFOs for the British... Are you familiar with him?
Yes, and you know what? I used to think Nick Pope was pretty legit because a lot of what he says is true.
Mhm.
No, he's a disinformation man for the UK.
Oh, he's one of their Mirage men.
Yeah, he is one of their Mirage men, and he'll take stuff that is true. He'll spalt in some really interesting true information and then stick bullshit in. And if he talks about Rendlesham, he's lying. He's covering up for the Brits.
Got it. Used to investigate UFOs for the British Military of Defense, Ministry of Defense. Described
He's still on their payroll.
Described Ashad's remarks as extraordinary. Either this is some sort of practical joke or publicity stunt to help sell his book. I vote for both. Perhaps with something having been lost in translation, or someone in the know is breaking ranks, he said. Pope said the UFO and conspiracy theory community was excited, but that questions remained, including whether or not Ashed was speaking from direct personal knowledge and experience, or whether he is repeating something he has been told. There are still some missing pieces to the puzzle, he said. That article actually told me nothing.
Yeah.
That article was there to fill space and capitalize on something that was bombarding Twitter.
I'm of the mind that he had a book to sell, and that I think the Q crowd got it right on this one. It's a distraction.
Oh, it's totally a distraction.
But okay, the truth about the Galactic Federation and Israel. Do you really want the true story?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with a history lesson first. Okay, yeah, in 1950, my people, the Greys, met with President Eisenhower at Holloman Air Force Base. There was a brief chat. We actually, most of the talking was done by some rather attractive tall whites. We just kind of hung in the background. Eisenhower, good man that he was, actually returned all the bodies from Roswell in little coffins. Apparently, had even given them last rites. Not that it mattered, but...
Well, you didn't want them to go to hell or purgatory.
Well, he was an honorable man. And, we did broker an alliance. We gave basically the United States a fair amount of technology. And in return, he was uncomfortable with it, but he agreed to let us abduct and experiment on Americans. He only agreed to it when we promised that it would be painless and that the abductees wouldn't remember anything or even know that they had left their house overnight. And let me tell you, boy, we fucked that one up. Man, we didn't realize the human mind was that resilient. And we kept the promise about painless.
True.
It's just you remembered it.
Well, no, there are some that still said that it was painful.
Those weren't us.
Those weren't you. Okay.
We didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
Those were other kids.
Other kids. Okay. That was some other kid.
Yeah. So there was that. Anyway, we also, got the United States into the Galactic Federation, which sounded a lot cooler than it was. And I'll be honest, it was kind of sweeten the deal to make people feel important. But really, after a while, Eisenhower figured out that being part of the Galactic Federation kind of sucked. It was kind of like the UN, but worse, more like, that scene in Star Wars with the Galactic Senate, only dumber.
But they weren't forcing us to provide the world with an army.
No, actually, no. And they got to go to Mars, so it was okay. It balanced out. So in the 70s, Israeli spies found out that America was part of the Galactic Federation, and the next thing you know, Israel wanted in, and they kept nagging Reagan about it, and nagging him, and he's like, "Look, you think it's like ET, but it isn't. You don't want to do this." But finally, Reagan couldn't talk him out of it, so Israel was adamant. And then when they found out that Japan was already part of the Federation, man, did they get pissed. Huh?
Sosa Bird, Jews in Space. You mean the Aquarian flotilla?
Okay, I guess. So yeah, let me tell you, they were pissed off when they found out that Japan had actually become a member of the Federation, but they hadn't. You know, it was kind of.
Well, of course Japan did. I mean, we have a life-size Gundam now that moves.
Well, actually, I'll be honest with you. What it was they let Japan in because Japan is now supplying half the galaxy with hentai.
That makes sense.
You know, it's like
who's best girl in space?
Well, tentacles, big head, small mouth, big eye. Just think about it.
Man, who's best girl in space?
I don't know. Uzaki-chan. What?
Us.
So of course Japan was let in. But anyway, the negotiation with Israel went on for decades, and it was nothing but trouble. I read about this in school as a little gray myself. I wasn't there. But
a little space tot.
Yes, exactly. And it just apparently dragged on and on. It's still dragging on, right? And I mean, there were disputes. Like, for instance, there was a labor dispute between Israel and my people, the Greys, because, once they had found out that the Greys sort of assisted in the building of the pyramids. We didn't build them. We just gave the information, gave pointers and suggestions. Israel wanted an apology and compensation for their people being enslaved for the construction of the pyramids.
Which never happened.
Well, we tried to say that. No, they didn't believe. That went on for years until finally we pulled out the time scope and we said, look, you were paid what you were due. The agreement for those day laborers had been lodging, a little bit of coin, and all the beer and flatbread you could consume. And they were well paid. And you know what?
How many of them came back for the next job? I mean, there are, let's see, 5, 6 pyramids? 5. Yeah.
And, so they were just bitching that it was this whole slavery thing was just to try and con a better deal out of the Pharaoh. And so, then they claimed to us, because we showed them on the time scope, look, you guys weren't ripped off. And they said, oh, yeah, well, that time scope to me just looks like a VHS machine with Christmas lights. Oh, I'm sorry. Holiday lights glued onto it. And we're like, no shit. That's what time scopes look like. Duh.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. It looked like a VHS machine with Christmas lights.
And time machines look like boxes.
Yeah. Come on. You believe that a time machine looks like a fucking phone booth?
Yeah.
So then there was that, and finally we hammered that out, and finally that got out of the way. And then there were like the weird ideas, like they had a PR company, and they didn't like the Galactic Federation's logo. This is the logo, right?
It's pretty gay.
Well,
it's a fucking Stargate.
Hey, we didn't design it. If it had been up to the Greys.
Not really the logo? That's the Stargate.
Hey, I didn't say.
What is this, like some like junior high student
The
noodling around
avians
on
did it.
Photoshop?
The avians designed this piece of shit.
Okay.
The Greys didn't approve
Well,
this.
just everything's boxed.
Ours would have been some weird geometric thing.
I would have preferred that.
But the Israelis were like, look, we got some PR people and we redesigned the logo and we think it's better. And it's like everyone's,
really? No, I'm serious. Really? Is this something? This isn't something that you just randomly found.
Oh, no. You could look it up online. There are competing arguments over which one is the real logo.
I'm Facepalm.
I'm not making this up. There are online arguments over which is the real Galactic Federation logo.
Facepalm.
So anyway,
I think Mel Brooks had the better idea.
So anyway, so there was that, and that didn't go over too well, and that's still an argument. And then finally, we think we've got
that alien is part of AA. Do you know the one I'm looking at?
Yeah. Don't. They're sensitive about it. That's an Arcturan.
Do they drink a lot, or is he like trying to overcome
the
weakness of his people?
Well, they're trying to overcome their weakness to hentai. Is what they're.
Then shouldn't that have tentacles coming out of it?
It's HA. It's not NA or AA. Yeah.
Then I think that should be like down on his crotch.
Horrible bad porn addiction.
What is the symbol for that? I know there is one.
For Hentai Anonymous?
No, porn.
Who's wearing it?
Porn addiction.
I don't know.
I believe there is one. Anyway.
So look, okay, so that got worked out, and then we think everything's fine. But then there's this whole fiasco where the Space Canadians didn't want to sit next to Netanyahu. And there was this whole fucking argument over who would sit where in the council.
But they're I'm sorry, they smell like bacon.
Not going there. Not going there.
Right.
You can ask a Space Canadian.
I know that was a low blow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not Earth Canadians, Space Canadians. Didn't want to sit next to Netanyahu. Hey, I'm only reading the history. I'm not making the shit.
I know.
So finally, the breaking point came earlier this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in yet another ongoing. Yeah, see, it's been going on since Reagan. We've been arguing with them. Israel got pissed off because we wouldn't let them have Space Hanukkah off in the council. And so this guy from the Security Council decided, you know what? I'm going to stick it to the Space Federation, the Galactic Federation, and just spill all their secrets. And I'm going to make some shit up too about talking to their flying saucers and stuff. And here we are. That is the whole there. You've had the whole backstory.
Got it.
You have any questions? Any?
Do their ships really look like the Mel Brooks film?
They haven't built any yet.
Okay. Well, how did they get up there? He supposedly met with them. Did they beam him up?
When they get rides on the Adamski saucers.
Oh, okay.
They just hit you. They're like the Ubers of the galaxy.
Dude, I want that Uber.
No,
I'd actually ride Uber if I got to ride one of those. Dude, it'd be like in Disneyland. Okay, what do we have? The NASA. Who knew it would take aliens to let us know the most efficient ways to stack rocks?
Yeah. Or, to leave random silver triangular monoliths around in places just to be found.
Exactly. That thing's interesting, actually.
No,
I don't think that your people did it. I just find it interesting, the phenomenon that it caused. Ricky Uzaki-chan Uzaki-chan, thank you. Doesn't practice casual violence against men. No, she doesn't. She's awesome that way. JEC, time machines look like boxes, like Calvin and Hobbes? Sure. I like that.
I like this one.
So sorry. Hey, how'd you get my 7th grade art project?
You talking about this picture or the Galactic Federation?
Mad Kronk. The avians need to check their birdseed supply.
Avians are dicks, man. I don't care what anyone says about them being noble, right? They're dicks, okay?
Anybody who's owned a bird knows that just any birds are dicks. So
have you ever? Was it
space birds?
African gray or?
Well, okay. There's a couple of things. I've got a couple of stories. One, I had a friend from junior high who had a little green parrot. I've never known a green parrot who wasn't an asshole, but this green parrot, it would try to take your finger off if you got it anywhere near the cage, and it would watch you. And when it would watch you, its eyes would dilate, and then the pupil would get really small to a pinprick, and then dilate, and then get really small. And it would sit there and do that. It was the creepiest thing. That bird was so possessed. Mad Kronk. When it's an Acturian, it doesn't matter if it's male or female, to quote.
Yeah, look at that thing on their head.
The NASA. Space Canadians are fake and gay. JW, Space Hanukkah, is that like Robo? I cannot read people
Nautica?
and say, yeah.
If that's a reference to something, I have no idea.
Nunica, Robo Nunica. Okay.
All right. Oh, we've got a Riser Man intro.
Oh, okay. I gotta get proper posture for this. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the phase of the moon that turns the tides, Riser Man stands before you. Key Strix. Uzaki-chan is sadly old drama now. VTubers are the new anime war zone.
You're going to have to direct my attention to where to look. Maybe we can do a show on it. All right. Well, let's do this last one here, and then I don't know.
Acid Trip. The madness that manifests. Oh, there's another one. The madness that manifests in this world has been contained and prospered into this vessel I call a body. The black mage of legends sent to right the wrongs of fandom. Riku, the waifu fucker. Dude, you need a plaque that says Riku, the waifu fucker.
Oh, here we go. It's a fake robot holiday claimed by Bender and Futurama.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And RoboClaws came out for that one.
So which one came first, Invader Zim or Futurama with the evil Santa Claus robot?
Oh, Futurama.
Oh, okay.
Futurama predated Invader Zim by 4 or 5 years.
I don't know. So anyway, any other questions you want to ask me? I mean, it's been a while since we've been on a big alien show. We're at 35 minutes here. I mean, I don't want to waste the audience's time, and we could call it a night. We could try and get you upset about something.
I'd rather not. I'm happy.
You sure?
I have my garage.
That is true. You do have your workshop set up.
Yeah, my workshop is finally set. Well, it's 90% set up. There's
All right.
The little things.
Well, let's actually talk about some good news. Adventures in Awful, Saturday.
Yes. Saturday. Be there.
It's back. Yes. Adventures in Awful
with
is
Truckosaurus.
back.
No, I wish.
Although we are running low on things to salvage, believe it or not. And I know you guys want us to do comics, but unfortunately, that's still not a possibility yet. We need you to send us titles of books, specifically genre-based books, be them, Chuck Wendig books, for instance, or any of the Marvel or DC YA spin-off novels. Any of those, you got to send them our way so we can torture Cat.
But yes, we are. I'm so excited. I can't talk. We are definitely returning to Adventures in Awful. Yes, I am excited. I have been missing doing this. It's been far too long. So yes. And JW asks, has I've been working on any painting projects other than painting my house? Not as of yet, but they are coming. I have ideas that are waiting.
Cool.
Like the haunted lighthouse.
So you had a book picked out for this weekend.
I do.
What is this book? I think this is the first time you've actually picked the book. I'm not springing a surprise on you.
I do not have it in front of me. It is on Kindle. But if you pull up our to read list with Kindle.
So wait. Why would you want us to read Dungeon by Philip Jose Farmer? I mean, he's a bit of a classic. I mean, we only want to read bad books. Is this a bad book? Oh, God.
Okay, 3 words. Ready Player 2.
Player 1, for once, that's going to be pain on me, not Cat. And yeah, you're probably right. That really does deserve it.
Well, do you want to read it? Do you want to regale us with, and we'll all get your reactions?
Oh, wait.
Cesario. Yay, I got a book in mind. The autobiography of Olivia Munn. Suck it, Wonder Woman.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, my God. Look it up.
Okay, give me a second here. Somebody wants us to read the memoirs of James Comey. That's quite interesting.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking this up right now. He said it's horribly written.
Oh, it's horribly written. I attempted to read Donald Trump's biography, and I have a lot of respect for the man, but damn, his entire book read like it was a used car salesman's pitch.
Oh, there it is. Suck it, Wonder Woman.
Oh, I hate the cover. We should do it.
She's kind of a phony anyway, from what I understand. I mean, I know Razor Fist really has it out for her.
Oh, does he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Movie Bob has a book? You're shitting me? Is this serious?
There's a movie Bob book.
If there is a Movie Bob book, we are doing it.
Oh, and Amy Schumer.
Man, you really are piling on the pain, aren't you?
Well, we called and
Well,
they have
well, you know,
responded.
yeah,
It's
I
like
was-
lighting the lights of Gondor, you know?
Yeah.
People are coming to the call.
Owen, I don't know when we're doing an Alien Guyver show, okay? I don't think I know enough about Guyver to. That would take some real serious research. Okay.
But everybody go see Owen and was it Wolf?
Wolf 10's
Wolf
show.
10 show.
You know, though, I will. Okay. Tom King wrote Omega Men, which is. Oh, really?
Oh. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Kyle Rayner joins Space Al Qaeda?
You know,
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
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 That kind of froze my brain there for a minute.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Ow. Oh, Lord. Okay.
You know, I am kind of pleased that Ready Player One bombed. I mean, that book, I don't care what anyone says, that book is not cyberpunk. I don't care what anyone says, that is not cyberpunk. That is nostalgia porn. There's a difference. And it's not even very good nostalgia porn.
No, it's not like
God.
Manborg or Kung Fury.
Lindsay Ellis wrote a novel.
Ugh. A YA novel, no less.
That's child abuse, isn't it?
Well, it would be if children were reading it. Remember, YA is not meant for children, but for women whose sexual appetites are that of children.
Okay, here we go. Movie Slob's book is Brick by Brick.
Oh, look it up. Look it up.
I will. Give me a second. I gotta.
The second half of the book is a Super Mario strategy guide.
Oh, we're going to be doing Felicia Day books. Don't worry.
Oh, fuck her.
I've got a whole bunch of those. I don't know. I mean, at least Munn's passively attractive, I guess.
Who is?
Olivia Munn.
Yeah, passively.
I mean,
she'd be more attractive if she wasn't a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, I mean, just Felicia Day is not attractive.
No.
She's like exceedingly average. So
she's got the cute thing going, is what it is. She's got that cute, awkward, ugly duckling thing going. And for some people, that's a turn on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Cute, ugly duckling, you know, but you need to have a decent personality. Otherwise, that ugly duckling really is pretty ugly.
Well, she's an actress. People don't see her.
Okay, so you wanted me to look up Lindsay Ellis's novel or Movie Bob?
Movie Bob. I want to see Movie Bob's book, especially if the last half of it really is a Mario walkthrough.
So, you know, if Olivia Munn's book is called "Suck at Wonder Woman," is that about what she wants Wonder Woman to do to her?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, we're looking up.
Either that or that's what she's screaming while she's being royally boned.
It's not popping up.
Is he going by the name Movie Bob?
We just keep getting Lego dioramas.
Like the pizza van.
You think this is kind of like Amazon saying turn back, you don't want?
No, I think it's its algorithm saying, oh, people at this time of year who are typing in the word brick are usually looking for Legos.
Okay, let's just try Movie Bob.
The one and only Bob. Lots of cat books.
You know,
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, I am not finding it.
Lots of cats and movies.
Is it not on Amazon? Okay, let's see.
Let's see here.
That's because Lindsay Ellis is really annoying. That's why you haven't watched her show.
Ugh.
Seduced by COVID. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Let's see. Ernest Cline's poem "Nerd Porn Auteur." Yeah. Okay, it's Robert Chipman is his real name.
Oh, Michael Connor says that she wanted to play Wonder Woman.
No.
No. Okay, theory of transmission, as in communication transmission, not STDs.
Okay. Still not getting anything.
Yeah, I think he suffered the classic problem of naming your book something that will come up as other things when you do a Google search. Tip for writers: when naming your book or picking a title for your book, Google what comes up. If a lot of other things come up, don't name it that, and don't name your books after songs or movie titles.
No, bad idea. Okay, let's see.
Okay,
Guess what? It does not have an Amazon entry.
What came up was a book with a picture of a raccoon on it.
There's a lot of you put him in, and what you get are a bunch of books about Mario, but not. Here's the book.
Super Mario 3, Brick by Brick by Bob Chipman.
But
how can you not have an Amazon?
But there is no entry.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to be perfectly straight with you. It is extremely easy to sell things on Amazon. If you're an author, especially if you have a digital book, it's incredibly easy to get your stuff up on Amazon. So the fact that it's not, but it's got a Goodreads entry, which is
well, that's because he probably entered it himself.
No, I know, but
here, you want to read the
more than a strategy guide, bigger than a retrospective, a whole new look at one of the greatest video games of all time. Oh, okay, so if there's a walkthrough, okay, that works. Film critic and game journalist Bob Chipman, creator of Escape to the Movies, The Big Picture, and The Game Over Thinker, attempts the most in-depth analysis ever of his all-time favorite game,
Genocide.
Oh shit!
No, he actually has gone on genocidal rants about who he thinks should be exterminated.
Oh, holy fuck! Are you serious?
Yes. Let's just say he thinks that white men need to be wiped off the planet. I guess he'd be the only one left, so then he'd actually score.
Fighting the urge to make a comment about Jews in space. Anyway, Super Mario 3. The book chronicles his own most recent journey through every step of the game, missteps and all, while analyzing every element of this enduring NES classic, from level design to visuals to music to its unforgettable characters for their artistic, cultural, and even historical significance. He also details the history of the Super Mario franchise itself, his own experiences growing up gaming, and many of the life-changing events that surrounded. And dude, I don't want to know about how you whacked off to Bowser.
Surrounded and shaped this most recent quest to save the Mushroom Kingdom. 2.5 stars.
Okay, so you're just going to vomit up your life onto the page and talk about Mario as well. You know, you're not cool if you don't bring up the wizard.
As I'm not really familiar with the author's other work. As far as I know, this is his only book. A friend recommended me this book, and I can honestly say it's the worst thing I've ever read. It's poorly written, badly edited, and abysmally short on actual criticism. It smacks of a person who wanted to write a book but couldn't be bothered to actually reading any of it before.
I would recommend it to, for anyone who wants a good example of what you're not supposed to do.
That is the first review on this.
I tried reading this book, but it is desperately in need of an editor, or at least a copy editor. Misplaced punctuations, inconsistent capitalizations, misspelled words, and a parenthetical in almost every sentence constantly disrupted the flow. Shame, as the idea of the book sounded good.
Oh, read this one.
Bob goes into way too much detail, repeats himself, bounces back and forth between topics, and writes off-topic things nobody cares about. In one part, he seems to think we care about the time he was doing a public access show and his boss threatened to fire him over his passion of the Christ Review. That has something to do with Mario because also he compares seeing Mario 3 for the first time to a historical event that compared to JFK being assassinated in 9/11. Dude is on planet developmental disorder. Oh my lord.
Okay, I think we do need to read this.
We do. But we'd have to pay for it because it doesn't.
I'm sure I can find it.
Okay.
Illegally.
Okay.
Or something. Well, I'm sure some kind listener might find a way for me to find it.
Where was it? Cesario brought up Bowsette. If it was Bowsette, that would work. But this was in the days before Bowsette. It was Bowser only. Sosa Bird, the passion of Bob Chipman was when Lindsay Ellis publicly eviscerated him on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
What happened? I know that he posted that picture and acted like they were like best friends.
I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say because I could be wrong. You don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. But who was it that did a documentary on it?
No, that was something else.
No, they did a whole documentary on everybody with a
No, that was something else.
You sure?
Certain.
Okay. JEC, Movie Bob is a eugenist. Why do eugenists have the worst genes?
Eugenicist. I know it's spelled weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that the ones who want to exterminate tons and tons of people from the gene pool tend to look like Movie Bob or be feminists, or both.
Yeah.
Movie Bob's a feminist. No, did you know that among the earliest eugenicists were all feminists or suffragettes, actually? But
okay.
All right. Oh, she called him a stalker. I'm not really shocked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up on an hour here. Any last questions before we call it a night? In the meantime,
Sosa Bird says that it's on Kiwi Farms.
Well, there we go. Well, before we go any further, I'm going to. I found a woman for Bob.
Shit.
I think Bob might have a chance with this. Now, who are we kidding? But anyway, now that we've talked about some horrible books, go buy a good one. My novella, Scars, which Kronk had described as Old Yeller meets Michael Crichton if it were a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't really, I guess it's a little stronger than the Rats and Him meets Boy and his dog. But you want some hard science fiction that has a real human heart to it? Check this out. Or if you're just a sick, warped, and twisted individual, we've also got Death War Grease Paint on Amazon. Both books are 99 cents. And this is probably the funniest thing I've ever read and the most twisted.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Check it out today.
Be a friend. And 10 more comments, and we'll call it a night.
Okay. Are you trying to make a black hole, Ishi?
Why would I want? Oh, you mean the picture?
I think so. Well, body mass and all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If her and Bob were to. Wow, that's deep. That's profound. All right. Remember, Biden didn't win the election. It was fraud. You have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, and don't wear your